What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Lamonts G Custom Live Show, the number 3 podcast. I'm not feeling well this morning. Um, the thing about it, I don't know what it is. It could be allergies. I don't know. Anyway, I appreciate you watching. I will say that, dude, I gotta get back on my health journey. I'm 20 pounds overweight, back up to 250 when my ideal weight is 225. I feel good at 230, but 250 I don't feel good. My back is killing me. And I think I got off track with the calorie thing because I was doing 1,200 to 1,500 calories a day. And I got away from that, man. I'm not real big on sweets like I used to be. Once I kicked that to the curb, and it's just not good to me anymore, but I will chomp on a cookie or a Nutty Buddy or something like that. When I used to have everything air fried or baked, I went back to eating fried chicken livers and fried chicken. Even though I'm not a chicken person, uh, fried chicken livers and gizzards are pretty damn good. I love fried fish. Anyway, I gotta do better. I'm just not feeling good right now. My body's not where it needs to be, and that's nobody's fault but mine. And I got to get back to where I'm comfortable and I'm feeling better. You can't do anything about the weather. Can't do anything about the changing of the season. So the pollen and the allergies. That's I've been dealing with that for 54 years. So can't do anything about that. Um, Other than that, I I spent the entire day with my wife yesterday. So as far as you know, doing any shows or getting any yard work done or anything else, I didn't get anything done because I spent the whole day with her. And we did a tad bit of shopping, but mostly we just talked, and I think that was beneficial for us, you know, uh, as a married couple, as human beings, because we talked about everything from religion to just stupid stuff, So it was necessary that we, have that whole day just to conversate, just to talk. She wants so desperately to influence the number 3 podcast, in which I don't discredit. I don't discourage that. Matter of fact, I'm for it. But she has her own thing going on. She's just completed a master's and her graduate certificates, and she's preparing to graduate, and she should be one of the highest in the country in her field. Even though I don't think she's recognized for it, I'm proud of her for that. But as far as influencing the podcast, I do it. Anything to improve it. Like I told her, I'm not trying to make any money. I know a lot of people, rely on YouTube and Rumble and Twitter and TikTok and all that for their livelihood. I understand that. To each his own. God bless them. But I don't. I do this mainly to conversate, and I gave her an illustration yesterday of the types of conversations that I wish to have, because to date, and like I said, I've had a YouTube channel forever. I've been on these social media platforms forever, but I've had minimal conversations. And to date, and this is honest God true, to date, the last time I had a meaningful 3 or more people conversation, you have to go back to 1995, 96. And when you didn't have YouTube, you didn't have Twitter, you didn't have Facebook, but you did have Yahoo Chat. And my first wife and I, we actually were part of two groups. One was married couples group, and the other one was just unnecessary group type stuff, But we would conversate upwards to 3, 4, 5 in the morning with different couples and different people. We didn't see each other because, if I'm not mistaken, the video thing wasn't perfected or prevalent back then, but the voice chat was. It was almost like talking to 8, 9, 10 people on the phone all at one time. It was wonderful. We had meaningful conversations, and so I gave her an illustration yesterday of uh, Antoine Daniels. I know you guys have heard me mention him. He has multiple platforms, but one of them is Room 9, where he has you know. 4 or 5 women, 4 or 5 men, and they just talk about, the discussion of the day, the news of the day, and what's going on in the world. And they have meaningful conversations with different opinions. And, I told her that's what I ultimately want to do. Um, with you go on some of these platforms and you see these people with plenty of money, and they have like a studio set up. They have guests coming in, high profile guests coming in, and they talk about stuff. Listen, that's all well and good. And, that's just another step for them, for the entertainers and the celebrities. Instead of having a show on USA, they're having a show on YouTube, or social media platforms. So that's nothing for them to leave the television world, because people are not watching television these days other than me, going over to the YouTube and the social media and the streaming platforms where people are watching. Smart, hats off to you. I have platforms I have platforms on YouTube, Rumble, Facebook, etc. I got an opportunity to go to iHeart Radio to do a podcast, and hopefully, I can do some of the streaming things here pretty soon. But it's not my livelihood. So, when you look up my stuff and you try to get information on what I do, it's going to tell you everything's low quality. And it is. Like I told you in many, many podcasts, I have a basic camera from the 90s or from the early 2000s. I have this computer, which is my wife's old work computer from 2016, I want to say. I just got one new camera. It's more like it's not a camera that you would want to use as a podcast camera, but it can help out in many ways. Also, have a updated beautiful Motorola smartphone that I plan to use as well. More likely, when I'm out and about, in the woods and in the backyard, or away from this computer. And my point to that is, you know, yeah, if you look at what I do via AI, they're gonna tell you his stuff is low quality. Um, and if you listen to Grok, I call myself I have the number 3 podcast on the planet, and I've addressed that. No, it's the number 3 podcast. Um, but I do what I do with what I got. And I don't apologize for it. I'm not scrambling, going out and robbing nobody and stealing to get something better. So my quality will be a little higher. I don't care. If people don't want to watch this, they got a choice not to watch it. I'm not going to beg anybody. I'm not going to plead with anybody. I'm not finna do something egregious to go viral. I don't care. I just want to have a conversation. I don't care if you're talking about football. I don't care if you're talking about basketball. I don't care if you're talking about relationships. I don't care. Now, I'm not into the celebrity thing, and I told you that I don't worship celebrity. I don't. There's no human being walking on this earth that I would be starstruck if I met. that I would be on somebody's coattail, that I would be a groupie. That's nobody, because nobody's better than me. Nobody. I don't bow down to no man. I don't care how much money you got, how famous you are. You're just a man. Early in life, and listen, I don't honestly, I don't know where this damn show is going. I had no direction when I started it. I just want to tell everybody about my health and spending the whole day with my wife. But I'm on a tangent, so I'm gonna continue with it. Early in life, I was never starstruck by meeting people and want to see people and want to go to concerts and want to do this, want to do that. No, I met plenty of celebrities, mostly in the gospel singing world, mostly in the wrestling entertainment world. Cause living in real so close to Atlanta, you saw a lot of wrestlers. Right down the street from where I live, I was brought up, Talladega International Speedway, and you had NASCAR drivers who had homes in that area, um, constantly stayed in that area. So meeting celebrities and famous people wasn't anything for me. The one that I wanted to meet the most probably was Mike Tyson, because at 15, 16, I wanted to be Mike Tyson. I really did. I wanted to be that. I don't care. I didn't care about the celebrity. I just wanted to box like Mike Tyson. I wanted to train with Mike Tyson. But as I got older and followed Mike Tyson, I found out Mike Tyson was flawed. He was a man. He was a human being. He was not perfect. And, you know, the only person I should have mimicked my life after was my father. But I found out my father wasn't perfect. He was flawed. So therefore, there's only one other human being that walked this earth that I should tailor my life after. And I promise you this is all true. And that was Jesus Christ. Because he was not flawed. He was perfect. I'm not. But I can mimic that. I can follow in those footsteps and try my best to be perfect. Everything I do, I ask myself, what would Jesus do? Would Jesus do this? Would Jesus do that? Was I perfect at it? No. Did I always do the right thing? Hell no. I don't always do the right thing now because I'm human. I'm a man. But when you make the attempt to always do the right thing, you may not always do the right thing, but at least you make that attempt. And 9 times out of 10, you're gonna do the right thing. You're gonna fall short every now and then. So I said all that to say this: the people that I wanted or should have mimicked in my day were all human beings, and were all fell short of the glory. Whether it be my father, whether it be any celebrity or any individual in the neighborhood, there was probably more people around the way. Whether they play high school football or they did this or they did that. So I like that, man. I wouldn't mind being like him, or, whatever the case may be. But you come to a point, like I said earlier, that you see that they're all flawed. I want it so bad for my children to have my mindset, my movement pattern. You know, because I always did. If you had a group of 12, 13 people that's fit to walk off this ledge, I'm not walking off the ledge. I'm going the opposite direction. I'm not following the group. Not sure if I'm saying that correctly. I wanted them to be independent thinkers. And I think they all are. I've never had trouble with my children, thank God. And I guess you could credit that to good upbringing. Their mothers and I have done our best, and we're going to continue to do our best, even though they're grown. We never stop being parents as long as we're breathing. So, but I've done a lot of pieces on, and hell, within the past couple of weeks or months, on on celebrity worship and that type of thing, and I really don't want to repeat myself, but if I had my choices when it comes to other people's way of thinking, I would do my best and try to steer them in the way of Jesus Christ. I don't apologize for that. Just to get off on a side note, real quick, two dudes that I actually listen to constantly on a daily basis, as far as the podcast, they constantly beat Jesus Christ into you. Jesus Christ, Jesus Christ, Jesus Christ. And you have some people that say, they go too far. No, they don't. No, they don't. When you telling the world about Jesus Christ, if you genuine and sincere, you can't go too far. If you're flawed, if you're fake, if you're a false flagger talking Jesus Christ, yeah, you can't go too far, because when speaking on Christianity and Jesus Christ, people feel how real you are. And when you fake and flawed, people know real quick, dude, flawed. So yeah, I would never apologize speaking on Jesus Christ, ever, 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 ever. And I do apologize, y'all. My head is swimming, and I'm not myself this morning, and I really have to take it easy today and figure out what the heck did I do the past 3 days for me to feel like this. It's not uncommon for me to feel bad when these allergies are kicking my butt. Pollen's flying around. Listen, I understand and I get it. Been going through it for years and years. But this right here is more internally. I guess I'll have to make a doctor's appointment here pretty soon and have some tests done to see if everything's going straight. I do know this, without a shadow of a doubt. I got to get my diet back straight. I got to get back to the 1,200 calorie thing. Then the thing about it, I don't eat all day. I get up in the morning. I may or may not eat something because I take my vitamin packs in the morning. And if you take your vitamin packs in the morning and you don't have anything on the stomach, it's going to be a bad day. So I try to put something on my stomach, to give it, you know, some volume in there to do what the vitamins do. But after that, I have one ripid until 7 p.m., which is meaning from 7 to 7, I haven't eaten anything. When I get home, I have my dinner, and if it's 1,200 calories or less, I'm good. But see, that's my problem. It hasn't been 1,200 calories or less, and then I have a couple beers, go to bed, and if you're sleeping on more than 1,200 calories and your metabolism isn't where it needs to be, that's how you get to the point where I am right now, and I'm feeling bad. I'm out of shape, and I have got to do something about it. But listen, I don't ramble long enough about nothing, so I guess I'll get ready to head out. But let me just say, I plan to change a few things here in the future. Not dramatically, but you will see some changes. I have taken advice from other people, and this is key for me, because when you talk to a bunch of people, especially when it comes to this type of thing, podcast and streaming shows and YouTube channels and Rumble channels, etc., you have a lot of people who are out there to rob you, steal from you, take what you got. They don't want you to have more visibility than them. But there are a few people out there who say, listen, I know the game, and I will help you get as far as you possibly can. If you want to thank me, if you want to do this, you want to do that, you can. I'm not asking for anything. I'm going to help you. I love that because that's the way I have been all my life, whether it been football, law enforcement or whatever, I tell these people, I don't want to gain anything from you but a friendship. I will help you as far as I can. I don't want nothing in return. So when somebody tells me that, and I appreciate it, I'm weary. Don't get me wrong. I'm not just finna walk in to an untitled door blindly. I'm not about to do that. But when somebody tells me I don't want anything in return, but I will help you as much as I possibly can to get you where you need to be, yeah, I'm intrigued. So my point to that saying that is, I've talked to a few people, including my wife, that wants to, you know, institute new things into the podcast. Equipment wise, listen. I'm not finna go spend $100,000 on something that I'm not trying to make money off of. It's not that important to me. So as Grok says, my quality, the production quality may still be low. I don't care. If you watch, you watch. If you don't, you don't. But as far as introducing, more, how can I put it, ground hitting topics, um, just the way it's delivered, etc. I'm not finna be fake, so I'm not finna doing said things that I'm not. This is who I am. So this is what you're gonna get. I'm not finna be fake. But the deliverance can be a little bit more crisp. I understand that. Am I gonna do it in the future? Yes. Um, do I want something signature? I already got it. It's the number 3 podcast. This is my signature right here. So with all that said, changes are coming soon, and I hope you still continue to watch. I've been watching the numbers on Twitter. I've went from March 2026 all the way back to October 2025, and the numbers, the analysis are going just like that. So that's a beautiful thing. I just want to entertain, not really entertain like a character from a TV show or a movie. I want to have that conversation. I'm gonna beat that in just like I beat Jesus Christ in. I want to have the conversation. Um, One thing, and then I'm gonna get the heck up out of here. If you're familiar with Room 9, I mentioned this earlier in the podcast with Antoine Dane, Room 9. That's my goal. If you're familiar with Brother Wise from the Righteous Perspective, he has panels. He have that consist of 4 or 5 women, 4 or 5 men. They conversate. They give their perspective. He created this platform specifically for that. Just like Anton, his platforms are just off the roof. But that's my goal. The conversation. When you align yourself with a certain type of people, those goals are closer than you think. Those goals are not hard to reach. So if you see this, if you want to be a part of it, if you want to be a part of this journey with me, reach out via Twitter. Yeoman3573, the football guy, 3-time MVP, the conversationalist, Zuki. It actually is Zuki, the conversationalist, on Twitter. Facebook, Harvey Ritchie or Harvey Lamont Ritchie, or Velmont. You can reach me all 3 of those. On Rumble, I think it's Yeoman3573. And YouTube, hell, you see me now. So I think on YouTube is Lamont's Gym and Custom Knives, the name of my business. So Lamont's Gym and Custom Knives. So anyway, all these platforms, you can reach me. Send me I don't know how it is these days. Just send a DM or whatever it is. I don't know. Just send it to me. We can work some out. I may have to get some instructions from you on how to do the platform thing. Only thing I have on this is WebEx. I have created a profile for WebEx. So anyway, I love you and I do appreciate you, man. And In the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, as always, He is the one we praise. I'll see you next time.